are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2014 movie Big Hero 6. So, this movie from Disney Animation Studios, based on the Marvel Comics. We follow the story of Hiro Hamada, a young robotics prodigy, and Baymax, his late brother Tadashi's healthcare provider robot, and they form a superhero team to combat a masked villain responsible for Tadashi's death. This is a pretty good movie. I really enjoy this one quite a bit. I would say the story is pretty good. I think Hiro Hamada is a pretty great main character. He's really likable. I really enjoyed him quite a bit. And I think Baymax is just absolutely lovable and everything. He's just great. And all of the side characters that are part of the Big Hero 6, the team, and everything, they're good too, except I don't like Fred. And everything. Part of that's just because I really do not like T.J. Miller. I've never been a fan of him. And I just find him to be completely obnoxious in everything he's in. In this movie, he's no exception. Every time he opens his mouth, I just want to punch him in the face and tell him to shut the hell up, because I hate T.J. Miller and everything. He ruins everything he's in, and this movie would be significantly better if somebody else voiced Fred. I think it has some really beautiful, heartfelt moments, though. Especially the stuff between Hiro and Baymax. Honestly, you could have taken the rest of the group out of it and just focused on them two, and the movie would have been just as fine without them. Like the team wasn't something that necessarily had to be in there. Although like I said, I like the other characters and stuff. They were just not very memorable and everything. I feel like that Hiro and Baymax are really the only two members on the team that are well developed and memorable and stuff. But there's some really great moments in here too. It has a lot of really heartfelt and emotional moments, especially in the wake of Tadashi's death at the beginning of the movie, and throughout the whole movie you see Hiro's grief and everything, and just very well done and everything. And his relationship with Baymax is very well written and everything too, and the ending of the movie is pretty good too. There's a lot of good twists and turns and everything. I thought that was pretty cool how like that they beat Callahan and stuff, and everything, and then they find out that his daughter is still alive, so they go into the thing that's I don't know what the heck, remember what the heck it's called, but it's kind of like the Quantum Realm is what it reminds me of. But they go in there and they find her and save her and bring her out and everything. I thought that was pretty cool and stuff. I think the action is great in here too. Not quite as on the same level as the action in The Incredibles, but still pretty good for an animated superhero flick and everything. I think Callahan, like I said, he's a pretty good villain. He's one of the better twist villains, and I think his motivations are pretty reasonable and stuff, although I don't like that Tadashi died and stuff. But like he said in the movie, it actually really wasn't his fault that Tadashi died to an extent. I mean, it was his fault that the fire was started, but it was Tadashi's fault for running in there. So I kind of sympathize with the guy and everything. Is like I could understand wanting to go save his daughter and stuff and everything. So he had a really good motivation and everything. He's a pretty good villain and everything. I thought he was one of the highlights of the movie. I just wish they would have done a little bit more with him and stuff. But I think that this is a fun time and everything. I just it has a pretty cool Stan Lee cameo at the end of the movie during the end credits, which unfortunately has to do with Fred, which is probably the only thing that Fred does in the entire movie that I thought is really like likable or whatever and everything. You get to find out that Fred's dad is Stan Lee and everything. I thought that was kind of cool, I guess. But I will say the score in here is pretty good. Not anything super special, but it fits the tone of the movie really well and everything. And but yeah, this is just, it's a fun movie, and it has some pretty, like I said, it has some funny moments too, like especially in the scene when Baymax's battery is low and he's trying to sneak him into the house and stuff. It's kind of just really hilarious and stuff. He's kind of like drunk or high or whatever, and he doesn't make much sense when he's talking. He's walking all funny, and just absolute comedy gold. And they did a great job with the humor in that moment and stuff. Yeah, I love the story and stuff. It's not necessarily a new concept of a boy and his robot. We've seen that concept done before and everything, especially done better in the Iron Giant and everything, which this movie reminds me a lot of in a lot of ways. The story and setup isn't exactly the same, but the ending and stuff, the way Baymax and Hero's journey ends, reminds me a lot of the Iron Giant and everything. It felt like a poor man's Iron Giant and everything. And I think that's another reason this just isn't one of my most favorite movies. It just didn't feel as original as a lot of other Disney Animation Studios movies are and everything. And following Frozen, that was a big movie to follow. So I can get why some people do feel like it was overlooked and stuff and underrated, because it came out like right after Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph, which are two of the best movies of the revival era, and not to mention the other ones that came before those and everything. So this is definitely probably one of my least favorites of the revival era. It's not my very most least favorite, but it's definitely one of them and everything. But it's not a bad movie. It's pretty good and everything. It just has way too much TJ Miller, but any movie that has TJ Miller has too much TJ Miller in it, because he is one of the most obnoxious and worst actors around and everything. And he ruins everything he's in for me. Even Deadpool, he takes those movies down a notch for me and everything. So this one's no exception, and just, it could have been better. But all in all, I think it's a fun time. Not the best of the revival era, but it's good enough. It has lovable characters and a good story and a pretty decent villain and stuff, and it is pretty decent for what it is. So I'd say I'd give Big Hero 6 a 7 out of 10. It's an enjoyable movie and everything, and it's watchable. I don't mind watching it every now and then and everything, but it's not one that I'm gonna rush out and go. It's not a go-to Disney movie or even a go-to Marvel movie. It's just alright. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Big Hero 6. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.